Hey, welcome back, everybody. Happy Thanksgiving Eve, Wednesday, November 22nd. And yesterday's tax video, if you missed it, it's very important. Check it out in the description box below. All I was doing was giving everybody the update that the IRS has delayed the 1099 threshold from that $600 that we're all pretty familiar with. If you're not, again, check out the video in the description box. Back to $20,200. And boy, did I catch a lot of crap in the comment section and in my messages and email box for the video that I made when I was simply just passing the news along to you guys. So I wanted to take just 2 minutes to cover some misconceptions and some lies and some falsehoods that some of you decided to put out in the comment section, and then some of the rest of you saw and thought that they were true or that they came from me, and they didn't. So number one is, I don't like taxes any more than the next guy. Like, I hate taxes, especially considering that even with all my deductions and all my expenses and getting it all way down, I still pay a lot of money, 5 figures in taxes pretty much every single year. I hate taxes. Now, I understand that taxes are a law, they're part of life, and some of you will say there's no law. Show me the law that there's no taxes. I can show you the people that get arrested for tax evasion. I can show you that. And I don't want to be that guy. So I take care of them, but I don't like them. It doesn't mean I'm all like cheer, cheer, hurrah, hurrah, pay the government. I hate it. But taxes are or should be used for some good things. There's things like infrastructure and transportation and, you know, all this different things, Medicaid and Medicare and Social Security and all these things that tax money should go to supporting this country and keeping this country up and doing things. Unfortunately, you know, and I would never have a problem with that if the money was used properly. And unfortunately, it's not. Our money is being sent to countries, and whatever your political beliefs are, left side, right side, middle side, independent, green, whatever, there is nobody. You can be a Democrat, hardcore, lifelong Democrat, all you want, that is going to say that we should be sending hundreds of billions of dollars to a place like Ukraine before we're taking care of ourselves. Like, I don't care if you're a Democrat. You can have those beliefs. I don't care if you're a Republican. Have those beliefs. Our tax dollars are supposed to be for us. They're supposed to be for us to take care of this country first and not last. And so I have a real big problem with that. So contrary to popular belief, I don't love taxes, and I hate them even more right now because I feel, in my opinion, that our tax dollars are being grossly misused for the benefit of those in power and to the benefit of whatever they're doing, sending it overseas and kickbacks and all this other crap. So myth number one, I don't like taxes. I hate them, actually, and I hate them even more right now. Myth number two is that people that make small amounts of money through Venmo or Cash App or Zelle or get that $600 limit, if that comes into play at some point, are being, it's unfair for them to have to pay taxes and report it. And this is where a lot of people don't understand. You don't have to necessarily pay taxes. You have to report those transactions. That doesn't mean that you owe taxes. So for example, if you and I go out to dinner tomorrow night and you give me 20 bucks for pizza, or we order subs here to the house and watch Netflix and everybody chips in 20 bucks, that transaction coming into your account from your 5 buddies because you paid for it and they all gave you the 100 bucks back, that's not taxable. That is not income, right? That is personal transactions. You're exchanging money. You are not selling something for income, for profit. So again, if I was to sell that couch, maybe I paid $1,000 for that love seat, right? And I sell it out on Facebook Marketplace to somebody who wants it for $300. I am not paying taxes on a $300 sale. I did not make money. I sold it actually at a loss. Even if I sold it for $1,000, what I paid for it, which isn't going to happen, but that would be break even. It would be zero, and I would not have any taxable income. I would have gross sales of $1,000 or $300 or whatever, and I would have an offset for the cost. Now, a lot of people made a really good point in my comment section that what if you don't have the receipts for your couch or for your old clothes? Let's say you go through your closet and you clear out your clothes that you paid $100 a shirt for, $50 a shirt, or $50 jeans, and you sell them for $30, and you don't have the receipt. How are you going to prove that that $30 wasn't profitable? How are you going to prove that it wasn't a dollar pair of jeans you bought at a garage sale that you flipped for 30 bucks and made profit, as opposed to $50 jeans that you bought at American Eagle and you've had for a couple of years and you lost money on them because now you've sold them and you don't wear them anymore? And that's a great point because you can't. You don't have the receipt, right? So in those situations, the IRS does accept reasonable explanations of, like, I sold personal clothing off. If you have a resale business for clothing and all you're doing is selling clothing all day, and then all of a sudden you start putting some of it over in personal, that might raise some red flags. But all you're doing all year long is just exchanging pizza money and selling your personal clothes and getting rid of a couch. Reasonable explanations, they will not get you for. And in fact, you can put that down as your tax return that you had a loss or that you broke even or whatever it is that's legitimate. And if you don't get audited, you'll never have to worry about it. And in the event that you do get audited, I have pictures showing I've had this couch for, 4 or 5 years, I don't know. And I have probably myself in pictures of my clothing. And if I didn't, I would just write it down as a written explanation. And the IRS will be okay with that. Like, they're not unreasonable. I'm not team IRS, but this is factually proven that they will accept these reasons. So that was something else that came up where people are like, oh, you just want them to come after the little guy and cause us a bunch of problems and blah, 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 blah. That's not it. I want everyone to report what you've done, but it doesn't mean you have to pay. There's a difference. So then we moved on to the next comment I got, which was, oh, that's a burden on the little guy. Now they got to go pay for TurboTax or H&R Block, which both great programs, Quicken, all that stuff. And they do cost money. I believe TurboTax is almost $100. H&R Block's like $100. They're pretty similar in pricing, different plans for different businesses and options. If you get that 1099, you now have to file, a Schedule C rather than the free easy 1040 or whatever it is. And you may have to pay for these services to file them. You actually don't have to. You can file them written. You can go onto the IRS website, print out the papers, and you can write them in by hand and mail them in. You don't have to digitally file them. And that is free. All you'll pay for is the $2 or $3 signature required to send it to them. Paying for the services online and digital and submitting it is faster and makes more sense. But if you're somebody who just wants to just get it done and get it over with, you can file it just like you normally would. You can walk into an H&R Block office. You can walk into a tax preparer. If you use a CPA, you can use them. You don't have to pay for these online services. It's not a must. So people can come off of that right away. I didn't say you ever had to pay for services. I simply said I pay for it because it's faster, it's easier, it's electronic, it's digital. I log into my computer, I give them their $100 and I'm done. And it makes sense for my business as well because it's a tax write-off and because I have a lot of stuff to plug in and it just helps me, it saves a ton of time. And for me, $100 is worth those hours of savings. So that was another myth that came across as tax things. What else did you guys say in the comment sections of my emails? It was crazy. Everybody thinking that I was like, I don't know, some like, oh, what do you believe in, like government control or this or that? No, guys, I just didn't believe in doing the right thing and being honest with your business. And, oh, why am I so upbeat about all of that? Well, you guys that have full-time jobs or your W-2s or you have a job where you get a 1099 or whatever, you have to understand that I don't have all of that. I do not have a job. I've never had a job since I was like 18 or 19 years old. I don't get any of that. So for me to buy a house, for me to get approved for this mortgage, for me to get approved for the cars that are out in the garage, for anything, whether it's a credit card or a small business loan or a personal loan or, financing, for example, all this furniture, when we moved into this house, the furniture store that we went to had 12 months free interest based on your credit. And it was like $10,000 in furniture, $12,000. And I financed it because it was like, oh, instead of just handing over $12,000 or $14,000, you can just do $1,000 a month for a year and you're all set. And I was like, I'd rather do that and spread it out because I can pay this every month until it's all paid off and then I don't have to put all that money out of my pocket. And that was approved based on my credit, which because my credit was good, they require proof of income and here's my tax returns. So that's what you have to have is tax returns. So I need to report as much income as I can so they show higher income, which does require me to pay taxes, but I can get approved for a house like that. Without those tax returns and those 1099s, there was zero chance I would ever have been able to move into this house. So hopefully that clears up a lot of the myths and the misconceptions. Look, I don't like taxes. I don't like paying them. I hate it. I hate the work. I hate tracking it. I hate all that stuff. But it is a necessary evil. And anybody who comes in these comments and says the tax is not a law and you don't have to do it is the sovereign citizen thing is garbage. You're full of it. Wesley Snipes, you should ask him about going to jail for tax evasion. Or Todd Chrisley, or I could go on and on and on about these people that went to jail for tax evasion. So don't do it. Just be honest. And most of you that are making less than those cutoffs, if you're in the couple $1,000 sales or $5,000 or $10,000 sales range, remember, you're only taxed on the profit less the expenses. You probably aren't going to owe taxes. You're probably going to owe very, very little after cost of good expenses and all that stuff based on the profit, not the sales, based on the profit. Your taxable liability might be a few $100 or even $1,000 or $2,000 if you did pretty well. And some of you won't even owe anything. You'll actually get money back. So it's not about the government going after the money from the little guy. Yeah, they want their money, but a lot of those little guys actually get money back or don't owe much of anything. They should spend more time going after the big guys that could owe millions of dollars of taxes, and then they'd be doing something rather than trying to target. You know, they should still get us to file the paperwork, but don't spend all this time on somebody that might owe you $200. It's not about the money. They know that. They know that somebody that small doesn't owe very much. Go after the guy that might owe you $20 million because he did $2 billion in sales. That's just my opinion, my thought. Happy to hear what you guys have to say. As always, thank you for watching. I appreciate it. Be safe. Have a nice holiday. Tomorrow is Thanksgiving. Probably no video up tomorrow, so I'll see you back here on Black Friday. Speaking of my Black Friday sale for my listing service, ProEcommercelister, is live all through midnight Friday. Cheapest listing service and cheapest listing credits. They will ever be $1.11 each. Buy them. Buy as many as you want. Use them as you want. They never expire. No time limit. Do it as you please. As always, thank you for watching the video. Hit the thumbs up. It helps the algorithm. And subscribe to this channel. Come back later for more videos. I'll see everyone on Black Friday.